Brought to you by the Chism Channel and TCC Productions.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your host, Jackie Chism, back again with another episode of the Chism Sports Groove. That's the CSG, if you didn't know. Yeah, I'm sorry it's been a long break, but we're back again to do it. All right, I'm so excited to get this episode going today. We got a good show for you guys as well. Definitely going to go over Monday Night Football first and foremost tonight with the Bills and the Pats. They got a battle for the AFC East. It's going to be a battle, to say the least. We definitely going to go over the Titans and their bye week, go over Titans time. We definitely got Vegas baby today. We got the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we also got some NBA prime time as well. Also, we got hot news or not news today, and I'm going to go with my final thoughts as well, which I'm going to talk about some college coaches, how they always moving around and how they always get big salaries that are guaranteed no matter what, and how is that fair for college students as well, and how they fit in that role. All right, guys, let's get it. Man, I missed my intro, and I definitely missed my intro, for real. Oh, man. All right, so first and foremost, we definitely got to talk about Monday Night Football tonight, since it is Monday. Definitely want to talk about the Pats and the Bills. Bills are a 3-point favorite in this one. It is at Buffalo, so the conditions are not going to be great, but the Pats and the Bills are usually playing in those conditions in December by that time. We got a few matchups to watch out for, definitely. You definitely want to see how the Patriots defense during their 5-game streak matches up against Josh Allen and that offense, especially since they don't have a running game. So you can just watch those cornerbacks, J.C. Jackson, McCourty, just sitting back and just picking him off today. I still like Diggs' matchup against J.C. Jackson. I don't think that they have a second corner that can actually match up really well with Cole Beasley out of the slot. So look for the Bills to win that matchup today. Even though they're not running the ball well, I feel like they're going to have a few good runs, just enough to open up enough lanes in that passing game for Josh Allen to get off. Next, you definitely want to watch out for the Bills defense against Mac Jones inversely. I feel like Mac Jones has had a great year. He's been playing really well during their 5-game winning streak, but the Bills defense is nothing to sneeze at. They are for real. They are fucking dumpster fire in your fucking house. It ain't never fun to play against them, to play with that shit. So look for the Bills defense to come up big. I feel like the Patriots still at the end of the day are going to be right there in the game. The Bills have been iffy during their winning streak, and the Patriots have been really good. Now, I didn't get to talk about the Patriots and Titans game, so just looking back at that, those 2 turnovers that the Titans had with the running backs, the fumbles, and those good drives that they actually had going, changed the game completely. Tannehill had to throw an interception on 4th down in the red zone just to throw something. They changed the game, the dynamics of the game completely. Mac Jones in the running game was able to let loose at the end, even though they had nothing going at first. And when they needed to run in the first 3 quarters, they had nothing to show for it. I feel like that trend is going to continue. The Titans' defense was banged up in that game, but they still gave them everything they had. Dylan Cole had a pick 6 that he just threw on the ground. I feel like Jaylen Brown was not there in that game. He's still dealing with some injuries. You can tell he's not the same person he usually is, and they picked on him with those tight ends. Look for Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer to shut down those tight ends. If they do, their wide receivers are no chance. Tyron Johnson and Tre'Davious White in the back end are fucking studs. They're going to fucking shut down the New England offense. I actually want to go into my picks, my prediction for this week. I actually do have the Bills winning this 23-21, but I do think the Patriots will cover the spread of 3 points in this one tonight. So look for it to be a very good game. It can go either way. Like, whoever wins the turnover battles wins this game tonight. Josh Allen or Mac Jones is going to lose a game for one of their teams. Watch for it. Woo! I had a lot to say about that quickly, but you already know what time it is. I'm going to get right into it. Titans time, baby. Titans time. It's on my chest. Titans time, baby. I love this segment, especially off a bye week. I don't like it when we lose. I love it when we win. But that's what happens when you have the residential Titans fan here, Jackie Chism, of the Chism channel, to report on his segment again about the Titans. Luckily, we did have a bye week in week 13 this week, which is a late bye week for most teams and most seasons. But we needed it. To this point, the Titans have used more players in 12 games than any team has ever used in a 16-game season. We are the most hurt team by far in NFL history, and we're still 8-4. No Derrick Henry, no Julio Jones, no AJ Brown. Bud Dupree is on IR. Tierra Tart's been on IR, been hurt. We have no linebackers. Literally, we went into that Patriots game with 3 linebackers, and Monty Rice ended up on fucking IR at the end of the game. Like, we are hurt. We are one of the biggest hurt teams in the league, and I feel like if we can use this week to get healthy, at least get our linebackers, Rashawn Evans and David Long, back. We can use the time to get everybody's little nagging injuries hurt. Jaylen Brown can use that time to recover for almost 2 weeks to like heal up on whatever injuries have been hurting him and that held him out earlier in the season. That's still hindering it because it's obvious. I like the time we have to game plan for our running game. Get Nate Davis back. Get Crookshank back. He's big for us. Crookshank is a huge part. He can man up any tight end. And against the Patriots, that definitely showed. We let fucking Jonnu Smith go because we knew Crookshank could man him up. We're not giving $50 million for a fucking 4th round pick to man you up. He's fast, he's big, he's 6'1", 210 pounds. He's a Madden, he's a 91 speed. He plays faster than that in real life. He's a guy that actually stuck with Travis Kelce. You think Jonnu Smith was going to get off on that game? No. He had his Patriots career day that day because J.R. Brown was guarding him and Monty Rice. I feel like KB definitely plays that like star position almost, that middle of the defense. He's almost like a sub linebacker almost. And he plays so well at that position with that sub linebacker, and that's only because you have three safeties that you can use every game with Crookshank, Hooker, and Bayard. Bayard loves Crookshank. He loves Hooker. He can rely on those guys back there, and he can play up front and up close towards the line like he needs to. He can diagnose plays and be right there where they want to go at. He can take away their initial reads off the back. He can take away their check downs right off the back. He creates turnovers everywhere. But you have to have people he can rely on in the backfield. So Crookshank coming back is going to be huge for Kevin Byard. Even though Kevin Byard had COVID, that was a perfect time to get COVID. It was on the bye week. You have 2 weeks to heal up, to get your breathing back, to try to get over it, and to try to get some conditioning back. Now, I am worried about his conditioning when it comes time to the game, but luckily it is the Jaguars. And we are not in a position, let's say this, we're not in a position to have any players missing. Because the one player we need when we play the Jaguars, we only need one. We only know offense, we only know special teams, we just need one offensive player. And that's Derrick Henry to play the Jags. He's not there. So can we continuously run the ball the way we usually do against the Jags? I feel like Hillard and Foreman are a really good pair. Only because our offensive line is really that good at run blocking. We're the best run blocking offensive line in the game. We just need to be healthy to run the fucking football. We don't need to be behind in games so that we have to pass 50 times like we did against the Texans. That leads to 4 interceptions. 50 chances for them to pick off a pass. You give me 50 chances, I'm going to get 4. If not, you shouldn't pay me $1 million. So, running the ball, getting check downs, going to our tight ends is going to be crucial in this game. Tannehill needs his weapons back. He's not going. He could have AJ back for this game, and if he does, great. He could also have Golden Tate for this game. If he does, great. Golden Tate, I'm not expecting much from him. I'm really not. If he can get 20 to 25 catches for a good 6 yards a catch, so we're talking 120 to 130 yards. So we're not talking about a lot of yards. We're just talking about, and maybe a touchdown. He has a great season ahead of him. We're talking in 5 games. Can he get 4 or 5 catches a game? 4 or 5 catches. And we're not asking for a lot. We're just asking for 4 or 5 to 6 yard catches. Hey, know the situation, know the playbook, get the first down. That's what Tennessee needs. We are shit on 3rd down because Ferguson's not there. Ferguson's been our guy for the last 2 years on 3rd down, and he is not showing up. He's dealing with some injuries, like everybody else on this team. So we have to have other places to go. We cannot keep checking it down to fucking Jeremy McNichols all fucking game. That's how you lose. Jeremy McNichols is back, but I actually don't like him more than I like Foreman and Hillard, though. Hillard is fast, so that gives a different dynamic. Foreman's big, so that's a different dynamic. Jeremy McNichols was a great college player. He's a great team player, great practice player. He knows the playbook. He knows the checkdowns. He knows the blocking scheme. He knows everything you need to know. He was a great player at Boise State. And you know I'm a fan of Boise State, especially since I love anything blue, two-tone. And they got a blue field. So look for them to have, look for Tennessee to get some offensive premises back. Now, it always does reflect back on the coaching staff. Our coaching staff did everything they were supposed to do against the Patriots. That was the best coach game I've seen the Titans have all season. Execution was the problem. Now, you're relying on practice players and players that weren't on no team at the beginning of the year. No team wanted fucking Hillard or fucking Foreman at the beginning of this year. No team wanted them. So for us to rely on them in crucial times and never to fumble but still have 100 yards, amazing. So for us to rely on them and still have 100 yards apiece was an amazing game. The turnovers did change the impact of the game, but that's what happens when you have practice players on the field. Now, does AJ go up and snag that, or Julio goes up and snag that in the red zone instead of throwing it to Coley Hollister? You damn right. Coley Hollister got knocked out of the game already, but we only had 3 wide receivers, so we had to put him back in the game. Nobody's talking about that beforehand. He got knocked out of the game, and then you wanted to throw a touchdown to him. So, we definitely need to take this time to get healthy. AJ and Bud Dupree should be back by the 49ers game. Look for Derek to be back by the end of the season. Hopefully we get that. Hopefully we can win a playoff game. I feel like Derek was in the top shape of his life. He still finished that game on that foot injury, and hopefully that didn't do enough to do extra damage to it, so that he would be able to be back for that Houston game. And if he's back for that Houston game, look for him to get 15 to 20 touches on that game. He's gonna get 4 or 5 carries in every fucking quarter, and he's gonna get himself back and right, and he's gonna get right. So I love the way Tennessee's going right now. I love that our bye week was late in the year. I love that our schedule remaining is so bad, in which I'm gonna go over right now, actually. All right, so we got, again, like I said, we got week 14 coming up. We do have the Jags. Then we have the Steelers. Then we have the Steelers. Then we have the 49ers, the Dolphins, and then Texans again. So look for the Titans with our superstars back, with AJ Julio, with Bud Dupree, with majority of minus Derrick Henry back. Look for us to actually go 4-1 in those games. I can't tell you which one, but it's either the Dolphins, Steelers, or 49ers. One of those games is not going to be ours. Now, I'm going to take that back. The 49ers are going to win that game. It's on Thursday night at 7:30 in front of the entire world against a banged up fucking 49ers team. Titans play their best when the lights are bright and everybody counts them out. The 49ers are not there, and we're going to blow them the fuck out. Watch that. But the Dolphins and the Steelers games, those are 2 to watch. Without our fucking superstars, if AJ's not back and he's not right, if Julio's not back and he's not right, then look for us to lose one of those 2 games. Look for both of those 2 games, actually. So we could end up 4-1 or 3-2. I'm not sure which one we're going to lose, with or without the superstars. That's just how the Titans play. So I'm looking forward to a 12-5 record for the Titans this year. That's not going to give us the bye record. It's not going to give us the bye week, but it will give us at least some close to home field advantage for the playoffs. Now, we should win our division, and we should at least get home field advantage. With home field advantage in the playoffs, I don't like it for the Titans. Titans only play great when they're underdogs. So I don't know how they're going to play, but if we get if Derrick Henry's back for that game, look for us to be inspired. Derrick had foot surgery a couple weeks ago, and he was supposed to be out for 10 weeks. So look for the team to be inspired. Look for those running backs to be inspired. Look for Tannehill and those wide receivers to be inspired. That's not use AJ. AJ is gonna step up. Julio's gonna step up. Let's not use Derrick. Give me the ball. That's how the Titans. That's where the Titans are the best at. So I'm excited about this season. We got 5 games left going into the playoffs. I know we're a playoff team. So let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Now, right now, I definitely want to talk about some of the way too early awards for the Titans. And we got plenty of way too early awards for the Titans as well. So I definitely want to talk about our offensive player of the year, the defensive player of the year, our rookie of the year, and who I feel like should be a Pro Bowler this year. Now let's start off with our offensive player of the year. It would be Tannehill if it wasn't for the picks. Seriously. If Tannehill could have thrown the ball away a few more times, thrown the ball in the dirt a few more times, he hands down would be the MVP this year. Nobody's been bigger for the Titans than Tannehill when Derrick Henry was out. But that's when Derrick Henry was out. And we are a different team when Derrick Henry's out. So King is still the offensive player of the year. King is still the best player on this team. King is always going to be the number one guy until he shows otherwise. Now, we turn to the defensive player of the year. I think that it's consensus. It's Kevin Byard. I mean, how many games does he have to wreck? How many sacks do you have to have? How many interceptions do you have to have? How many fumble recoveries do you have to have? And fumble causes do you have to have? Like, how many times do you need to score for us to give him this man his fucking props? The mayor of Murfreesboro is for real. He was an All-Pro a couple of years ago, and he's playing back at that level again. They gave him a contract. He was comfortable. He was hurt. He knows where he was last few years. And he's back. Now, if you can get over that COVID, that's going to be the biggest thing. Because COVID is not playing with nobody. Lamar Jackson had a hard time returning from COVID when he got it. I mean, everybody will have a hard time. It's a respiratory disease, and you're playing a sport that runs a lot. So, I still think that Kevin Byard has done enough to be the defensive player of the year for the Titans. Jeff Simmons is a big second, though. Big second. Like, if Kevin Byard were to miss a couple games, Big Jeff is a player of the year. Seriously. Now, I want to definitely talk about our rookie of the year, and it's a hard one for me. It's a really hard one for me. Because Caleb Farley looks like an all-world Peter. There's times where he didn't play much in preseason. He didn't play much in the training camp. He didn't play much in the regular season. But when he was in there, he showed flashes. He shut down Mike Evans. He's big, he's fast, he can jump, he can run, he can cover. That man is great. Titans, that's a great pick. I know he's injured, but that is still like our top cornerback for the next 10 years. And he's going to be a good one too. Even if he drops off in speed and athleticism in the next 10 years, he's still Patrick Peterson. He's still Patrick Peterson. And I mean like Patrick Peterson 5 years ago. So, like, Caleb Farley, shouts out, bro. I can't wait to watch you play next year. I can't wait to watch you play next year. Now, I definitely think that Molden has been there. He's been in every game. Even though he was a doghouse earlier against the Houston Texans, he played amazingly. He had some good snaps against the Patriots. He had some really good snaps in every game he's played against. And every week you see he's getting better and better and better. He's getting more feisty. He's getting his coverages like more sticky. He's hitting people harder as the season goes along. He's getting more comfortable with our defense. Elijah Molden is our rookie of the year, defensive or offensive. No matter what you say, Elijah Molden's it. He's been playing great football compared to all the rest of our rookies. Now, we didn't ask him much for the rest of our rookies. Brady Breeze and Racy McMath has been hurt. Brady Breeze has been hurt. Monty Rice has played really well until he got hurt last week. Dylan Radunz has not played at all. So I think that it's hands down. It has to be Molden. for a Rookie of the Year for the Titans. Shouts out to you, bro. I love watching you play. He's the second coming of Cortland Finnegan. He just needs to realize it. Now I definitely want to talk about our Pro Bowlers as well, who I feel like should be a Pro Bowler. And there's 3 names that definitely come off the page quick as hell for me. Big Jeff Simmons, he's definitely a Pro Bowler. Harold Landry's leading the team in sacks this year. He's definitely a Pro Bowler with 10 plus sacks. He's going to end the season with 10 plus sacks this year. And Kevin Byard, not only is he a Pro Bowler, but he's our guy that should be all pro this year. Jeff Simmons should be all pro as well because he just wrecks games. He just ends fucking shit. He ended that Bills game. He ended that fucking Rams game. I know KB had a pick 6 in that one, but like Big Jeff was all over Matt Stafford that whole game. He does that. He just does that. When he gets out his own way. He's the next best thing since Aaron Donald in the middle of your defensive line. And now I definitely think that the Titans are going to play the Jags this week and definitely going to surprise some people. I think we're gonna get back on our winning ways. We're a 10-point underdog. So later in the episode in the week, we're going to talk about more of the matchups and things of that nature. But I like how the Titans are going back into this game as well. So watch the Titans plus 10 against the Jags this weekend. All right, guys, that's another Titans time. When we come back, I'm definitely going to go over Vegas, baby. We're going to go into our good, the bad, and the ugly, and we're going to also talk about some primetime lines in the NBA. Let's get it.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
All right, Vegas, baby. This is the segment where we go over the good, the bad, and the ugly on anything we can fucking bet on this week. This week, week 13, we definitely need to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly because there was plenty to talk about this weekend. Like, week 13 did not disappoint in any way or shape or form or fashion. I actually think that this was one of the craziest weeks for football. I was able to watch a lot more games since the Titans were on the bye week this week. More in depth that say that. I was able to watch a lot more games, and you got some sense of things that how teams are going to get ready for the playoffs. What teams are ready for the playoffs? What teams are not ready for the playoffs? What teams are not going to make the playoffs as well, or shouldn't make the playoffs? So, I definitely think we got a lot to talk about. I'm going straight into the good because we always got to give the good news first. I definitely like the win that the Washington football team put up on the Raiders. I thought that the football team was going to win that game, but the Raiders did come off of a Thursday night overtime, Thanksgiving overtime win against the Cowboys. But look at that recipe. I just want to make sense of that to you guys. The Washington football team without Chase Young did just beat Tom Brady. The Raiders beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. That's nothing. That means absolutely anything. That means nothing to me. The Cowboys lose every fucking Thanksgiving. The Cowboys and Lions lose on Thanksgiving is as traditional as fucking turkey at this point in my household. So I didn't put no stock into the Raiders winning that game. I did put a lot of stock into how the football team were able to hold Tom Brady, though. So I definitely like the football team in that one. And shouts out to you guys for winning. Taylor Heineke, you making a lot of mistakes, but you're winning games. And that's all it takes, bro. That's all it takes. Next, I definitely want to talk about the Los Angeles Chargers beating the Cincinnati Bengals. They beat them pretty bad too. And to think that game was actually pretty close. Justin Herbert threw a terrible interception on 3rd and 25. They were able to return it and possibly get a field goal out of it. But that defense shut down Joe Burrow and Joe Cool and Jamar Chase out there. Jamar Chase had one of the most unluckiest plays I've ever seen in my life in that game. So the Chargers had one of the most luckiest plays I've ever seen in my life in that game. Jamar Chase had Mike Davis beat on the seam route. He caught it, but then turned around, bobbled the ball, and gave it right back to the guy that's trailing him. Like, that doesn't happen many times. So the ball hits you in your fucking hands and bounces to the guy that's trailing behind you. Like, that's wild. They had that type of day. But you love to see the Chargers keeping up with the Kansas City Chiefs in their division. The Raiders losing was big for them as well. So good shouts out to the Chargers for that win. And I definitely want to talk about the Seattle Seahawks. My man Russell Wilson getting back in the winning column. Their season's over with. Done. Russ threw a pick that bounced off a man's hand in the red zone. Yet they still fucking won by 7 points. Yet they still won. Russ is still showing everybody that he got it. He still is the reason why they win any game that they win. It ain't the defense. It ain't the running game. Chris Carson's hurt. It ain't the wide receivers that's fucking letting balls bounce off their fucking hands and dropping every other thing that they fucking catch. It's Russ. So I really want to see where he goes next year. What he does next year to rectify his career and get him out of that situation. He needs it. He definitely needs it. So shouts out to Seattle. Mostly shouts out to Russell Wilson for getting the W. Now I definitely want to talk about the bad for this past weekend. And it wasn't that bad because most of the shit's ugly. To be honest with you. And we're going to start off with the Steelers and Ravens game. It's definitely ugly for the Ravens. They should have won that game. They gave you the game. You went for 2 to win it. I understand. It's your divisional opponent, one of the most heated rivalries in all of football, in all of sports, actually. And you guys wanted to get out there, no overtime, no nothing, just get it out and go. That wasn't the right move, though. You had scored a touchdown late. You took the game from them. Momentum's on your side. Go into overtime. You had to go for 2 if they had made every extra point. They missed 1. So now all you gotta do is get the extra point. Let's go. You really think that your defense against Ben Roethlisberger was not suffice to satisfy the outcome that you wanted? No, I understand it's win or lose at that point, but put yourself in a better position. You're the better team. The Steelers going for 2 and don't get it. That's a good decision by Mike Tomlin. But the Ravens going for 2 and not getting it, that's a stupid decision because you're the better team. More time, better teams usually wins. Now, I also want to talk about no other than the Chicago Bears. Oh my God. Like, when is Matt Nagy gone? When is he leaving? I'm tired of watching this shit fucking happen. Like, there, you know it was like, how do you want Andy Dalton to play, but then put him in a position to throw 4 fucking interceptions? That's terrible coaching. That's terrible football. That's terrible everything. Everybody in the organization needs to go. Everybody in the front office of the organization needs to go. You guys are actually ugly, but there's uglier. 4 interceptions and you lose by 11. That tells me one thing and one thing only. You had a chance to win in that game. You had a chance of winning that game, and Kyler Murray was back. So without 4 interceptions, 1 interception, 3 scores, you win. 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, you win. It's a different game. So that's just ugly for the Bears. And it's not the player. It's Andy Dalton and the fucking coaching staff. But you've seen the writing on the walls. You know, in that same regard, I think that Denver should be in the bad. I think it should be in the ugly. But they're in the bad this week because a pick 6 by Sorensen, who is the slowest fucking safety that you can fucking have on anybody's team, had a pick 6. Well, that pick 6, it's 9 to what? It's 9 to 15. It's a 1-score game. 1 score. That tells me Denver was right there in that game. The Chiefs' offense looks like shit. They're shelling themselves. They're not as explosive as they used to be. And they should not have been taking their team as such. Kick your field goals. Get your points. The Chiefs' defense looked decent. Their offense is a problem. So, it's wild. It's wild. Denver should have been in that game. At least enough to cover the spread, but they didn't. And now we definitely got to go straight over to the... And you know who I'm starting off with. You already know. I got to talk about the Vikings. See ya, Mike Zimmer. You gone. You can't lose to a team that's supposed to lose every game this year. Every game this year? You play them twice a year, so you know they're shit. You know they suck at everything they try to do. They've been playing their ass off all year. If you go in that game flat-footed and give them a position to have the ball last and win, this shows that y'all were on the same wavelength. How are the Vikings, with all that explosive firepower they have on fucking offense with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. I'm sorry, Dalvin Cook. You got Irv Smith Jr. You got tight ends. You got an okay offensive line. You got a defense with Daniil Hunter and Harrison Smith and Eric Kendrickson. Like, what are we talking about here? That means the coaching staff was on par with a 0-12 team, bro. 0-11-1. I'm sorry, because they actually didn't lose every game. So, see ya, Mike Zimmer. You gone, bro. You can start selling your house now if you have one in Minnesota. And I'd be looking for a defensive coordinator job now, right now. Next, I definitely need to talk about the Saints, bro. Like, the Saints on Thursday Night Football look like shit. They lost by 10 points and Taysom Hill threw 4 interceptions. They were in that game. They should have been in that game. They should have actually won that game. I feel like they could have put up enough points to beat the fucking Cowboys in that game. They showed that they could have, minus the turnovers. Why pay Taysom Hill $50 million extension if dude playing like this? It's not like you ain't seen this shit in fucking practice. He a tight end on the third of the snaps. He covering kicks for a reason. Ain't because he's just that damn good. It's for a reason. If he was that damn good, he'd be playing fucking quarterback. Jameis Winston would have never played quarterback. Trevor Siemian damn sure would have never played quarterback. But you gave him $50 million more. Look for the Saints to be fucked up from there. I don't think Sean Payton's gonna return, especially since they're in the ugly now. Watch it though. Now, I definitely want to talk about, last or not least, the New York Giants. You lose by 11 points to the Dolphins. The Dolphins been playing up and down all season. The Giants been playing down all season. So you were hoping that they get like a down week for the Dolphins to play with the down Giants. Even though Daniel Jones is not there. Mike Glennon. What the fuck, bro? Y'all all suck. Everybody who went to the Giants should be looking to get the fuck out of there. They need a new head coach. They need a new GM. They're the same category as the Bears. Minus at least the Bears got Justin Fields for the next 10 years. I don't know what you're going to keep Daniel Jones for the next 10 years or not. I just don't. Yeah. I definitely want to give an honorary shout out to Gardner Minshew. Good game, bro. You was able to beat the Jets. I know that Jalen Hurts is hurt. But you were able to step in with that lagging offense and still pull it out. The Jets have been playing inspired all day, all season. They played an inspired game that game as well. But you were able to come back and lead the way. I think I heard some crazy ass stat that the Jets have never beaten the Eagles. So, shouts out to you, Gardner Minshew. And for everybody out here thinking that I'm just shitting on the fucking Chiefs, over the past few games, Pat Mahomes is at a 41.7 QBR for these past few games. He's not played like himself. It doesn't look like he's injured. It don't look like it, but he's missed a bunch of throws. He's had a lot of drops, but he's also missed a lot of throws as well. So everything is looking wild right now in the AFC and in the NFC. I love the NFL, especially late in the season, and this has turned out to be one of the craziest seasons ever. You gotta love it. Now we're going to talk about some NBA games that's happening until the next time we see each other. And we're going to start off with the games tonight on Monday. We got the 76ers traveling to Charlotte to play the Hornets as well. I like the 76ers in this one. I feel like the Charlotte Hornets are having some injuries at this point in their season. Miles Bridges is playing his butt off, but look for the process to continue the process in this one. I like the 76ers. Next, we got the Grizzlies of Memphis traveling to Miami to play the Heat. I actually like the Heat in this one. The Heat are a favorite in that one as well. I just think that without Ja Morant, the Heat are going to play more sound basketball, a lot less turnovers, and that's just going to be the difference in between the two. The points in the paint and the turnovers, which Ja Morant gives the Grizzlies a huge boost every game. They're going to definitely miss that. Next, we got the Nuggets traveling to Chicago to play the Bulls. I like the Bulls in this one. I don't like the Nuggets until they get healthy. Be honest with you. Until Jamal Murray returns, and which we got to see how long that's still going to be. I don't like the Nuggets this season. I don't know what they're doing with Bol. But every time he gets in and plays, he's playing amazing. They don't like him. They're not playing him. They like PJ Dozier. They like to play their players that they like to play. But I just don't think that they're in winning basketball right now. All right, if we travel to Tuesday, we got the Nets traveling to Dallas to play the Mavs. I actually like the Nets in that one on the road. I feel like KD is a matchup nightmare, and there's nobody that's going to match up with him. You're going to put Dorian Finney-Smith and Luka Doncic on him? That's game. So that's the only reason why they just have nobody to match up with KD. James Harden and Luka Doncic is going to go back toe for toe, but look for KD to blow the fuck out of Porzingis and Dorian Finney-Smith or anybody else that tries to guard him. Next, we got the New York Knicks traveling to the San Antonio Spurs. This is a good one, I feel like. This was a hard one for me to choose because they're both playing like at that mid-level game. Look for the Knicks to win that one. I'm going with the Knicks on that one only because I feel like they have the more youth, the more talented youth, the more firepower that they can use to create just more offense than the San Antonio Spurs can create at this point. Next, we also have the Celtics traveling to LA to play the Lakers. I'm not betting against King. He's back. So if he's going to be healthy and then playing in that game, I like to see him play. I like to see them. The Celtics are struggling as well as the Kings team as well in LA. So look for both teams to like keep it a low-scoring, close game. I feel like the Lakers will probably pull it out at the end, though. All right, moving on to Wednesday, we got the Bucks traveling to Miami to play the Heat. That's gonna be the greatest game of the week, I feel like, so far. I do like the Miami Heat in that one. I feel like even without Bam Adebayo, they can still have enough people in that paint to shut down Giannis. They know what they did wrong. They know what they did right as well. And 2 years ago when they made it to the finals. So look for them to expose and Jimmy Butler to deploy all the Giannis beaters that they can possibly pull on that one. Next, we got the Blazers traveling to Golden State to play the Warriors as well. I actually like the Warriors on that one. I think the Blazers got their win earlier in the season. They're not going to get another one. Simple as that. Warriors are scoring too fucking much. The Blazers don't have the defense to stop them, to put themselves in a position, nor do they have enough offensive firepower to play. I know Damian Lillard is probably going to be mad at me for that one. CJ McCollum as well. But I feel like Jordan Poole and Steph Curry, Draymond running like most of the point there. They're running up and down the court with anybody like they did in their heyday of their dynasty as well. So look for the Warriors to win that one. Next, we're going back to the Clippers. They're still on the West Coast. They're playing against the Celtics. I'm sorry. The Celtics are still on the West Coast. They're playing against the Clippers this time on Wednesday night. And I actually don't think that the Celtics are going to lose back-to-back games. They're either going to win against the Lakers or they're going to win against the Clippers. I feel like they're going to beat the Clippers just because of the matchup basis. Jason Tatum is going to have a good game as well. I like Marcus Smart against Reggie Jackson. So give me the Celtics and Matt game. PG-13 is definitely going to he's been stepping his game up. He's playing at an MVP level this year. Look for him to continue that trend. I just don't know if that'll be enough to stop the Celtics right after they lose to the Lakers in the same building. All right, and for Thursday night, we got the Jazz traveling to Philly to play the 76ers. I actually like the Jazz in that one. Jazz are playing really well right now. Rudy Gobert has been playing amazing this year. Coming off the Olympics, gave him the confidence he needed on offense to score a few more points. It also gave him the confidence on defense to step it up even more, which I did not think it was possible. Donovan Mitchell's playing like he usually does, out of his fucking mind. And Joe Ingles and Bogdanovich are some of the best shooting tandems this game has seen in a while. So look for the Jazz to definitely step up and beat the 76ers in that one. Next, we got the Grizzlies coming West Coast to play against the Memphis Grizzlies. I actually like the Memphis Grizzlies playing in that one. I feel like they played really well in the FedEx Forum in front of their fans, especially with teams that fans want to see. People want to see the Lakers. So when the Lakers come to town, they're going to get the players. They're going to get some of the team's best. because their fans want to see it. There's so many Lakers fans in Memphis. As being a Memphian and growing up, born and raised in Memphis my whole life until I went to college. Like, I definitely think that Memphis is going to step up only because Lakers fans are going to show out for that game. Last but not least, on Thursday night, we got the Nuggets traveling to the San Antonio Spurs. I like the Spurs in that one only because of Javonte Murray is a beast. They don't have nothing to stop him down, offense or defensively. I feel like the Spurs at home are not going to lose many games because they do still give their fans what they want, and they do play good complementary defense as well. Look for the Spurs to run over the Nuggets in that one as well. All right, guys. When I come back, we're definitely going to talk about hot news and not news.
What?
Definitely going to start off with hot news and not news. Now, this is a segment where we give a few topics and we choose whether or not if it's hot news and we definitely talk about it, or if it's not news and we need to leave it where it fucking stands at. Now, definitely want to get into some of the top topics for the day as well. Now, first, we definitely want to talk about it is bowl season. I love bowl season. College playoff is right around the corner. They got their teams. You got number 1 Alabama versus number 4 Cincinnati. You got number 2 Michigan versus number 3 Georgia. It's going to be great games around the New Year holiday, Christmas time. I love this time. I love all the bowl games. I think that this is definitely news. I feel like if you're a football fan, you do not want to miss bowl season. At any point in time, there's going to be great games, great matchups. I can't even tell you all the matchups. There's 20 plus games every day. There's going to be games every day. There's going to be a Tuesday night where you're like, I guess I'll play Madden, or I guess I'll just go like fucking jack off and go to sleep tonight. No, there's a bowl game on, and these motherfuckers are playing their hardest. They're trying to get to the next level themselves. You gotta love it. You gotta love bowl season. We're gonna talk about way more bowl season games going forward. Look for bowl season to be definitely in our Vegas baby segment. We're gonna go over some of the lines of the games from that for a few days as well. I love bowl season. This definitely lets me know that it's Christmas time as well. All right. In other news, Antonio Brown Antonio Brown of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was suspended 3 games. For having a fake vaccination card. I feel like this is not news, only because it's Antonio Brown. Anybody else, you would be confused, you'd be upset, and you'd be a little like just wondering what the freak is going on right here. What in the fuck sandwich are you doing, bro? Just go get the fucking vaccine. That's not news to me. I'm sorry, he's in Florida. They don't give a shit about none of this COVID shit the whole time it's happened. So it'd been better off for him to not just show in the card at all. Is it a bigger lie than Aaron Rodgers? Bigger news? Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers is the leader of his team. Antonio Brown's lucky to be the 3rd wide receiver and be in the NFL right now. Now, I definitely want to talk about some of these college coaches. Like Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma is going to USC to restore that program. Brian Kelly decided to turn down Notre Dame. Was one of the first coaches ever to turn down Notre Dame to say, I can't win here, and went to LSU. And you have Brent Venables, who's led some of the greatest defenses in the last 5 to 10 years at Clemson, is going to fulfill Lincoln Riley's shoes at OU. You got Steve Sarkisian going to Texas as well. So you got some big name people on the move. I feel like that's not news though. It really isn't. Until they start recruiting, until Lincoln Riley can actually win the recruiting battle in California, don't talk to me. CJ Stroud, DJ Ugalele, Bryce Young. Those are all California kids that grew up all around the same area. So they all play at non-California schools. So until he's shown the ability to win the California recruiting battle, that's not news. That personally is not news. And Brian Kelly going to LSU ain't news either, bro. Like, you couldn't get it done in Notre Dame. What makes you think you're gonna get it done against Alabama and Georgia? So screw that. Now, the Lions yesterday were able to win their first game of the season, beating the Minnesota Vikings 29-27. And I feel like this is news. We definitely need to stop and talk about it. Jalen Rose was the most probably excited person yesterday ever winning that game. I'm excited. I feel like Amon-Ra St. Brown is a beast. He was a beast at USC. He should have been a higher recruited wide receiver, even though he's smaller. He's still like a guy who can play that number one role and get you a win, as he's shown last night. Jared Goff is a Super Bowl starting quarterback. He may not be that good, but maybe like top caliber, like in the Pat Mahomes and the Brady and Rodgers category, but he is a decent quarterback. He can lead a team to the Super Bowl, as we already seen. So, but the real story though, it's on the Vikings. See you, Mike Zimmer, as we already said earlier in the show. You gone, bro. Bye. Deuces. You got all that fucking talent on offense and defense. You got all these superstars and X factors, and you can't do shit but lose to the fucking Lions. Lions gonna play hard, but you already played them earlier, and you lost against them. Jets got some studs on their defense. John Franklin, Myers, C.J. Mosley. Those are really good players. Quinn Williams is a really good player, young player. Lions ain't got shit. They missed on draft picks. They missed on free agency. Josh Reynolds is fucking one of the top wide receivers. Jared Goff, who they gave y'all all their fucking first round picks to take. Like, that's what they got, and you lose to them. So look for everybody. Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator, Mike Zimmer, the head coach, whoever the fuck that GM is, look for all of them to go. If I was the owner, the president got to go too, because I just built a new stadium. All right. And our last story of the day, I definitely want to talk about the LA Lakers. They are 12-12 right now. They have been struggling. King James has missed a majority of their games. Anthony Davis and Westbrook have not lived up to their pay rate and their what they've done in the past. And a lot of turnovers, a lot of defense, but we're 24 games in, so not news again. So I'm just leaving it at that. I feel like LeBron James is going to either get the pieces that he needs to play the way he needs to play, or he's gonna get the pieces he needs. You telling me the Lakers ain't got trade value? DeAndre Jordan gone. He just ain't got it. I mean, and they're gonna give him a couple more pieces to get what they need to get. They don't need a lot. They need some defense. They need some young legs that can play defense. That's it. So for me, 24 games in the season, that's not news. Like, give me 40 games in, see how they're doing. And if they're still struggling, they're still playing 50% ball, then we definitely talk about it a little more as well. All right, guys, that's hot news and not news. When I come back, we're going to go over my final thoughts for the day. All right, guys, back again. Now it's time for my final thoughts for the day. And I want to talk about nothing other than the college coaches and how they are able to move around, like after they get fired or if they just don't like a situation. But the players can't. Now, college coaches are getting an average of getting millions of dollars averaging, like for the top programs. The administration is getting millions of dollars. And when they don't succeed, they get the fuck out. They still get paid, but they get the fuck out. Then they go somewhere else and get paid really well as well. Then they move around. Charlie Strong, who's at Louisiana, at Louisville, I'm sorry, ran his butt on down to Texas because that's a big job. Like, I was at Louisiana, I was at Louisville, and we were playing really good. So Texas is a whole nother level. They got their own fucking network. They got their own fucking booster club. They got so much shit going on down there. It is not Louisville by any means, especially on a football level. Now, Louisville and Kentucky basketball, that's a different story. They won a championship a few years ago. So, like, Rick Pitino had that team going. So, I definitely think that, like, coaches know what the fuck they get into. And you get fired after 3 or 4 years. Tennessee has replaced their coach, like, 4 times in the last 10 years. Since Philip Fulmer's left. So, you see shit like that, and you just like, well, how many times can I transfer as a student? Because I came to play for, let's say, Josh Heupel. Now, Heupel gets booted after this year, which I don't think he will. I definitely think they're going to give him a chance to show what he can do. They're definitely going to give him a chance to show what he can do. But if he gets booted this year, like, where the fuck are them recruits gonna come from? Bro, I've been redshirted for a fucking year to play for Josh Heupel and his fucking offense, and he fucking going to fucking North Alabama or some shit like that. I'm gonna go travel to North Alabama, then I gotta sit out a year to fucking travel to North Alabama because I'm traveling from a Division I to a Division II school now. But I was recruited to play for this coach in this system. Now there's another coach in another system that I can play for, but I gotta still sit out a year. How is that fair? That coach doesn't sit out a year. Not only does he not have to sit out a year, he still gets paid for the time that he failed. College players don't fail. And when they fail, they lose their scholarship. That means you don't get to fucking go graduate. That means you don't get to go to the next point in life from there, even if you wasn't going pro. So, how is that fair? How is that cool? I feel like the students should be getting paid right now, paid a lot more than what they should, especially at the bigger schools. If you're at a SEC school playing football right now and you're not making $50,000 a year at least, what the fuck are we talking about? $50,000 a year? That's a game check for the motherfuckers getting drafted out of the SEC. That's a game check for the coaches there. The assistant coaches walking around making $100,000 a year in the SEC. And you telling me that the players shouldn't be? Only a few off their likeness should be getting paid, their university's paying these administrators millions of dollars. They're paying these coaches millions of dollars. And then you have situations like the Washington State where this motherfucker don't even want to fucking get vaccinated and he the highest paid state employee. That's the message you send to your team? That's the message we're going now? You get fired? Now these players got to fucking play the rest of the season for what? During COVID, no money for the majority of them. Barely getting a fucking education because you got concussions and shit, bro. How you gonna go to class? You just got 4 concussions on fucking Saturday. You out for the next 2 weeks, but you gotta go to class. How you gonna go to class? You need surgery on your knee. How you gonna do that shit? Now you ineligible for the next semester. Or they fudge some shit around so that you can be eligible again. That shit ain't cool. And they need to start treating these fucking athletes, college athletes, like the professionals that they are, or they're going to lose them. I feel like they're going to lose them. The NCAA shouldn't be a $1 billion industry at all. And here in the day for reckoning will come. Good luck. All right, guys, that's another episode of the Chism Sports Groove. I'm your host, Jackie Chism, back again. That's the CSG, if you didn't know. I definitely want to give a special thanks and a shout out to everybody in the Chism Channel organization that had a hand in putting this together. Thanks again. Until we see each other again, guys. Peace.
Brought to you by the Chism Channel and TCC Productions.